Here is the rewritten script. Most people have no idea how fragile the food supply chain really is. The average grocery store carries enough inventory to last its customers fewer than 3 days. 3 days. When you factor in a natural disaster, a sudden economic shock, or a widespread logistics failure, those shelves can be completely bare within hours. We saw a preview of this reality not long ago, and the lesson was clear. The families who had prepared ahead of time were calm, fed, and safe, while everyone else was scrambling in panic. What follows is not a scare tactic. It is a straightforward guide to 7 inexpensive, shelf-stable foods you can buy right now at any major retailer that could keep your family fed for weeks or even months when the unexpected happens. The first food every prepared household should have is white rice. Few foods in human history have proven themselves as reliable as this simple grain, and there is a reason why it forms the dietary foundation for more than half the world's population. When stored in airtight, oxygen-free containers, white rice can remain safe and nutritious for up to 30 years. That is not a typo. A stockpile you build today could literally outlast a generation. The reason survival-minded people choose white rice over brown rice comes down to chemistry. Brown rice contains natural oils that go rancid over time, making it unsuitable for long-term storage. White rice, stripped of those oils, is essentially impervious to time when sealed correctly. A 10-pound bag costs roughly $15, which works out to just a few cents per serving. 1 cup of uncooked white rice delivers around 600 calories, providing serious, sustained energy for physical activity. It also serves as a base that stretches every other food you have. Beans, canned vegetables, protein, all of it goes further when you have rice underneath it. The second item is canned beans, and the combination of rice and beans together is one of the most important nutritional discoveries in human food history. When eaten together, rice and beans form a complete protein, delivering all of the essential amino acids your body needs to maintain muscle, immune function, and cognitive sharpness. This is not a health trend. It is biology. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, all of them are available in standard cans for under $1 each at most major stores. Properly sealed canned beans can remain viable for 25 years or more. 1 can, when paired with rice, can easily stretch into 3 or more meals for a single person. Stock a few dozen cans, and you have a protein supply that requires 0 refrigeration, 0 cooking equipment beyond basic heat, and 0 preparation skill. You open the can, rinse the beans to reduce sodium, and eat. It is that simple. When everything around you becomes complicated and chaotic, having food this simple and this nutritious is genuinely priceless. The third food is canned tuna, and it deserves more respect than most people give it. A single can costs less than $1 and delivers roughly 20 grams of pure, complete protein. That is comparable to a restaurant-quality chicken breast at a fraction of the price, and with a shelf life measured in years rather than days. The real advantage of canned tuna in any crisis scenario is that it requires absolutely nothing to prepare. No power, no heat, no thawing, no special equipment. You open it and eat. During any disruption where the power grid fails or fuel becomes scarce, this matters enormously. Fresh meat becomes dangerous within hours of losing refrigeration. Canned tuna sidesteps that problem entirely. It is also remarkably versatile. Mixed with rice, it creates a complete amino acid-rich meal. Combined with shelf-stable crackers or flatbread, it becomes a satisfying sandwich filling. Tossed with pasta and olive oil, it turns into something that genuinely tastes good. Buying 20 cans at a time costs less than a single restaurant meal and provides 20 full servings of high-quality protein. The fourth item is honey. And what makes honey remarkable is something that sounds like legend but is supported by archaeology. Honey found in ancient Egyptian tombs, thousands of years old, has been tested and found still chemically intact and edible. The science behind this is straightforward. Honey has such low moisture content and such high acidity that bacteria simply cannot survive in it. It is nature's own preservative, and unlike virtually every other food on this list, it carries no meaningful expiration date when sealed and stored properly. Beyond its near-infinite shelf life, honey serves multiple roles in a preparedness context. It is a fast-burning energy source when your body is running low. It has well-documented antibacterial properties that make it useful for treating minor wounds, sore throats, and skin irritation when pharmaceutical options are unavailable. And during difficult times, having something sweet, something that makes food more palatable, matters more than people expect for morale and mental endurance. When purchasing honey, look for pure, raw honey rather than heavily processed blends. The quality difference is worth the small additional cost. The fifth food is salt, and it is almost certainly the most underestimated item on this entire list. Salt is so common, so cheap, and so available that most people walk past it without a second thought. But salt is not merely a seasoning. It is a preservation technology that human civilizations relied upon for thousands of years before refrigeration existed. Salt draws moisture out of meat and other perishables, creating an environment where bacteria cannot thrive. This means that when refrigeration fails, and in any extended crisis it will, salt allows you to preserve fresh protein sources for weeks or even months. Beyond preservation, salt is physiologically essential. When you are doing real physical work, hauling water, chopping wood, managing a household without modern conveniences, your body loses sodium rapidly through sweat. Deficiency leads to fatigue, confusion, and cramping. Salt also never spoils. A container bought today will be just as useful in 20 years as it is right now. At under $1 per container, there is no rational reason not to have several in storage. Keep one in your kitchen, one with your emergency supplies, and one somewhere safe and accessible. The sixth food is instant oatmeal, and it tends to get overlooked in favor of flashier survival staples, which is actually part of what makes it such a smart choice. While others are focused on the obvious items, instant oatmeal sits quietly on the shelf, available in bulk, affordable, and extraordinarily practical. When sealed properly with oxygen absorbers, instant oatmeal can last 25 years or more. It requires nothing beyond hot water to prepare, and in a pinch, it can be eaten cold by simply soaking it in water for a few minutes. No fire required, no smoke, no noise. Each packet delivers roughly 150 calories of complex carbohydrates, the kind that release energy slowly and steadily rather than spiking and crashing. When you are doing sustained physical work day after day, this distinction matters. Oatmeal is also available in a wide range of flavors, which is a small thing that becomes surprisingly important during a prolonged stressful period. Eating the same food in the same way every single day erodes morale. Having variety, even modest variety, helps people stay mentally grounded. It can also be used to thicken soups and stews, making your other supplies go further. The seventh and final food is canned chicken, and it brings everything together. A single can costs roughly $2 to $3, contains enough fully cooked protein to anchor a complete meal for 2 adults, and requires zero preparation beyond opening the lid. No thawing, no worry about undercooking raw meat over an improvised heat source. You add it to rice, to pasta, to beans, to whatever else you have on hand, and you immediately have a nutritionally complete, satisfying meal. During any crisis where fresh protein disappears from stores within the first 24 hours, canned chicken becomes one of the most valuable things a household can possess. It is shelf-stable for years. It is lightweight and easy to store in large quantities, and it is familiar enough that even children will eat it without complaint, which matters more than most people anticipate when managing a household under stress. Now, a critical note about storage that applies to every single item on this list. The foods themselves are only as good as the conditions you store them in. Heat is the enemy. Humidity is the enemy. Light and pests are the enemy. The ideal storage location is cool, dark, and dry, somewhere like a basement, an interior closet, or under a bed. Garages, attics, and outdoor sheds expose food to temperature swings that dramatically shorten shelf life. Food stored at 70 degrees Fahrenheit can last years. The same food stored at 90 degrees may begin degrading in months. Write the purchase date on every can and container with a permanent marker and rotate your stock so that older items get used first. This is not a set and forget system. It is a living pantry that you maintain and refresh over time. These 7 foods, white rice, canned beans, canned tuna, honey, salt, instant oatmeal, and canned chicken, can all be purchased in meaningful quantities for under $50. That is 1 tank of gas, 1 dinner out, 1 impulse purchase you will not remember next month. But a pantry stocked with these items represents weeks of real food security for your family. The next disruption is not a question of if, it is a question of when. And when it comes, the only difference between the families who are calm and the families who are desperate will be the simple, quiet, unglamorous decision to prepare before it was necessary.